dear friends, fellow travelers, and photographer. Chris Lee here. Welcome to my travel channel. In this number 67 episode of my travelogues, I'm sharing with you of my travel journey to Japan, and it's the number 6 episode of my journey to this beautiful country. Let's begin with our journey. The location of Japan is as shown in this map. Is located at the easternmost of the Asian continents, and we are back to this region known as the Kanto region today, and we shall visit a very famous city of the name Yokohama. And Yokohama, of course, is located in a prefectures as shown in this map here. So let's move on with our tour to this Yokohama city. Now, it's important to know that the Yokohama is also one of the major cities now in Tokyo, and in this city, they have actually a lot of interesting place for the visitor to visit, right? And let's get some background of this Yokohama city. Now, Yokohama city was once a fishing village in the early years of Japan, but now after the harbors opened to foreign trades and the countries, it became one of the leading trade city in Japan. Now, Yokohama was the first seaport opened up to foreigner trade after the opening of Japan in 1854. Now, Yokohama remained a maritime city to this day and retained the international flavor. And Yokohama was first seaport, and therefore, because of the importance of this city, the first train line in Japan is the train route that linking the Tokyo and Yokohama. So now let's look at this map to know clearly the location of Yokohama. Yokohama is facing the Tokyo base and is south of Tokyo. And we are going to cover this city not in very detail, but cover some of the very interesting places, beautiful places that you can find in Yokohama city. And the first place of our stop in this beautiful city is Minato Mirage 21. Now, Minato Mirage 21 is a new city center of Yokohama city with futuristic waterfront developed in the 1980s, and is also known as the Harbor of the Futures. Today is a major center for business, shopping, and tourism. Now, at this center commercial district of Yokohama houses the famous Cosmo Clock 21 Ferry Wheel, and it can be seen in this image, the Yokohama Landmark Tower, the Yokohama Museum of Art, and Ricoh Park. There are many other less popular but interesting places also can be found in Yokohama city. Then in this city, you should also able to locate high-rise observation decks and stylish boutiques that are located at the Yokohama Landmark Tower and the plaza. So let's look at the map itself. They have actually divided the main city center have been divided into 7 areas. And in today, we are going to bring you to area number 1. And at the same time, we also will cover the area number 3, where I cover a beautiful Japanese garden. So we look at a closer look itself. This is actually at the area number 1, and you can see quite a number of interesting landmarks have been highlighted on this map. And our region that we focus on will be between the red circle. So this is the first image of the Yokohama that we were exposed to. You can see the beautiful ferry wheels. It is also known as Cosmo Clock 21 ferry wheel. And at the center of the ferry wheel, there are house clocks. So this is how it got the name. And we also come across this very important building, or we call it Yokohama Landmark Tower. Now, this towers has been built to against any possible earthquakes, and therefore it have an anti-earthquake design. And the entire building was sit on the roller base, and when earthquake occur, the building was able to adjust itself without much distortion or movement at the top of the building. Instead of the roller base is the one that move to adjust to suit the movement of created by the earthquake. Then we come to a very important ship. It is a now turned museum. Now, this is actually a sailing ship that found in 1930s, a sailing training ship now turned museum, and then of the name Nippon Maru is docked, and is open to the public for viewing. And then next to the waterfront is also house a park. Although there are many parks around this waterfront, but the most prominent one is the Rinko Park. It's a regular venue for the hosting of summer concert. Along with the waterfront is where many of the upscale bar and also eatery that are located. So these are the images that taken along this region area 1 as highlighted. This image was taken in one of the park. I can't really recall the name of this park. And around this region, you can also find some amusement center. And of course, during our visit, it's during the working days and during the daytime. So you can see that not many people are visiting this amusement center at this hour of the day. And these amphibians vehicle can go on land as well into the water. And now we bring you to another very popular spot where most people in Tokyo, or most tourists visiting Tokyo, if they want to have authentic Chinese cuisine, they will then come to this Chinatown of Yokohama, which is not far away from Tokyo. And this Chinatown of Yokohama, as I have said many times, in every country, every corner of the world, where there is a trade, you will definitely find Chinese residents, and also a place called Chinatown. Now, likewise, in this seaport city of Japan, we could find a Chinatown just nearby. Now, this Chinatown is also popular spot for tourists when visiting Tokyo, as I mentioned just now. That the if you wish to have authentic Chinese cuisine in Japan, then this will be the one of the best spot. Now, the shop along the main street of Chinatown are many eateries, outlets, or shops selling food, ingredients, or product imported from China. Let's have a view of the images. So if you want to know whereabout of this Chinatown is as shown in this map, in the area circled in red. And this is one of the, actually the Chinatown only involve few street, and this is one of the street. And I believe it's the main street, main entry. That's why you can see there's an entrance arch. So at night, when nightfall, the Chinatown is actually light up with neon lights, and you can observe carefully. Most of the neon lights either eatery outlets or is actually shop that's selling products from China. It was a wet evening, and you can see that the street was wet, and hence very reflective. In fact, it's also a perfect time for taking night escape. Here's some of the shops. Now in this street, you can see that almost the entire street are filled with eatery outlets. Now it's here that we have our first and also the last Chinese style cooking meal in our entire 8 days of trip journey to Tokyo, Japan. We were happy with our dinner there in this Chinatown, but if you were to compare with the Chinese dishes that back home in Malaysia, I still firmly believe that the dishes found in Malaysia is much better and more authentic as compared to Japan, because there are many Chinese migrated from China to Malaysia in the early 17th, 18th century, and they have actually still maintained the heritage and culture in this part of the world. And the next place I want to bring you to is to this very beautiful Japanese gardens. I would say that this is one of the top Japanese garden that I visit during my 8-day journey. Now, the name of this garden is Sankeians, alright? Now, it's a traditional Japanese style garden in Naka Ward of Yokohama, Japan. Now, this garden opened to the public in the year 1906. Almost all the buildings in these gardens are relocated from other parts of Japan and are historical significance and are designed or designated as the important cultural property by the Japanese governments. Now, in the year 2007, the Sekian was further recognized as the places of scenic beauty by the Japanese government. Now, with a land area of approximately 175,000 square meters, filled with feature ponds, streams, and undulating paths, now the gardens been divided into the inner and outer gardens. And the outer gardens was open to public much earlier than the inner gardens. Inner garden was only open to the public in the year 1958. So let's take a look of this large, beautiful Japanese garden. And this is a map of this Sekian Japanese gardens. And it's been located and highlighted on the bottom right of this map. And this is the entrance point to this garden. Very simple looks at the entrance points. But once enter, you will able to find many old buildings. And as I mentioned earlier, that most of the buildings here have been relocated from other part of the Japan. So we are going to cover these regions firstly. then we will share with you the images. But then you look at it, so I have divided my journey to this garden in 3 zones. I can name it like the red zones, the green zone, and the brown zone, as shown in the arrow. I mean the circle. So it's a large gardens at the northern end of the outer garden at the top of the hill. Locates a 3-story wooden pagoda of Old Tomyoji. Now it is recognized as the oldest wooden pagoda in the Kanto regions and was built in the year 1457. So in other words, was built in the 15th century and is more than 600 years ago, and was subsequently relocated to this garden in the year 1987 from Kyoto. So you were able to find many similar type of buildings, old building, are being relocated around other area or other regions to these gardens. Later I'll share with you some of the buildings. So now we are in the northern portions. So we can start looking at some of this building. And you notice all these old historical building, the roof many use are natural products. In this case, it's actually the long stalk grass, I should say. It's a very scenic spot, and because of its large area, that I will strongly recommend that if you like landscape, and you should spend more time here. Of course, the best season to visit is still during the autumn month, as you can see that some of the tree leaves are turning into yellowish and reddish in color. A very scenic park. Every corner is a picture spot for photographer. This is one of the temple building found in these gardens. There are small section of the garden. They are planted with bamboo, and is with the traditional decorations, Japanese decorations. And in this part of the garden, we found that they have planted quite a fair bit of maple trees and others trees that give a very scenic look. And particularly, you look at the yellowish tree leaf being shaded from the tree and kind of cover the entire garden compound in yellowish color. You can still find many typical stone lanterns within the gardens area, as well as stone pagoda sculptures. Now we are moving on to the leftmost circle area, that is basically the circle in brown in color. Now in this area, in this zone or this area, you will able to spot many old buildings. Now these old buildings, including the old Yanohara house, which are relocated from the Hida regions of Gifu prefectures. So let's have a tour of this region where full of ancient historical houses. Of course, the houses that share with you now in this image are fairly new. Why I say so, you can see from the type of roof that have been constructed on the building. When you spotted any building, as I have mentioned in my earlier episodes, that roof of this kind, as can be seen in this image, are actually a building that is more than few hundred years old. So this is a closer look of the roof construction and at the roof area. And in one of the building we visit, this is interior decorations, how the interior look like. Entire building was fully constructed of timber. This is how the area where they used to do the cooking and also boiling waters and also keep warm during the winter time. You can see the huge timber members that's built up the entire building structures. Some of the artifacts, furniture or items are left behind. And of course the stone sculptures of the goodies. And interestingly, I want to ask you, do you know what is this building is for? Yes, some of you are very quick in responding. It's the toilet, public toilet. Even the public toilets are built in the ancient Japanese style. And this is the pagoda which I mentioned just now, the Toyoji pagoda, a three-story pagoda, which was built in the 1457. The entire pagoda is actually relocated, right, from Kyoto regions. And as I mentioned, this is actually a large garden with a land area of 175 square meters. So you definitely need a full half day at least to explore this beautiful garden. And in between the garden itself, you can find many windy paths. So these are some of the paths that we have traveled in between these gardens. Then we move on to the outer regions nearest to the entrance point. That is actually covered under the green circle area. And this is where you can find a huge pond, large and small pond. So you can see from this image, the pagoda is right on the small hill at the background. A very beautifully landscaped, both hard and soft landscape been done to these beautiful Japanese gardens. The pond has been raised with koi fish. Later I will share with you. Now, because of this park are so beautiful, and therefore, during our visit, we met quite a number of couples, wedding newlywed couples, have their wedding photo taken in these gardens. And at this point, we found some tourists are feeding the fish in the pond, and it become a center attraction for children. And we met, or those we have met, I think 2 or 3 couples, and this is one of the couples that having their wedding picture taken, and we join in, and we are welcome. And now we move on to the last place of interest, where it's very unique to many of us. The name of this place is called Unihontaru. Now, Unihontaru is a given Japanese name, which is referred to a man-made islands act as the entry and exit point of the undersea tunnel at Tokyo Bay. It's situated along the Tokyo Bay Aqua Line Expressway, which is also known as the Trans Tokyo Bay Expressway. Now, with an overall length of 23.7 kilometer, now the expressway connecting the Kizarazu city of Chiba prefectures and the Kawasaki city of Kawagawa prefectures. So let's look at a map to know the whereabouts of this expressway. Now you notice in this map itself is actually at the Tokyo base, and you can see the line, the linking the two ends, and this actually the Trans Tokyo Bay Expressway. And the position of the Unihontaru is marked as star, right? It's not exactly at the center, but more toward to the Chiba prefectures. Now, the full length of this expressway, including including a 4.4 kilometer length of bridge, as well as a 9.6 kilometer of tunnel underneath the Tokyo base, and is known to be the fourth longest, the underwaterway tunnel in the world. But this could be the fifth by now, with the completions of the ongoing of Hong Kong, Macau, Shenzhen's undersea tunnel in 2018. This is on the insert picture is the look is the overall aerial view of these man-made islands, and they have very beautiful viewing platforms for the visitor. Now, on these man-made islands house a large mall building with multi-level car parking floor, a rest area with restaurant, shop, and amusement center. The observation deck, as can be seen in this image, is a popular sightseeing spot for most travelers using this expressway. They have actually made this a point as a stopover point for visitors that transits between the Chiba prefecture and the Tokyo regions or Kanto regions, and over the Tokyo base. These are the images taken on these man-made islands. This is the calling plate that used to call the undersea tunnels, and now been used as an exhibit in this Uni Hontaro. So today is end the journey to Yokohama City at this point, and I thank you for staying with me until this hour. Please help to promote this travel channel by share and to your friends and families, as well as subscribe if you have not done so. At the same time, before I end my this travelogues, in the next episode and also the last episode of my travel journey to Japan, I'll bring you to these Chiba prefectures. And in this prefecture, we will be covering a few very beautiful nature's park, public parks, as well as very beautiful valley with waterfalls. On top of that, I'm going to bring you to a very beautiful neon lights exhibitions, claimed to be one of the largest neon light exhibition around Tokyo area. Please stay tuned until the next episode for the number 7 and the last episode of my travel journey to Japan. So I say a word thanks you, and please stay safe and stay strong. Hope we can meet again next week at the same time. Bye.